Hey everyone, it looks like it's time to start. Welcome, and let's wait probably a couple of seconds, minute for everyone who is joining, because right now a lot of people are joining us. And let me start with introducing both our topic and our team speakers. So topic which we prepared for you today is absolutely interesting. It's extending SAP ERP capabilities with artificial intelligence. Best practices for integrated business planning. This is actually what we're going to discuss with you today. Let's start, let's begin, and let's move on. So let me introduce our team. My name is Natalie Lopachak-Axi, and I'm happy to be Vice President of Partnership at GmbH Streamline. Currently, I am working on PhD. I'm a PhD candidate, and I'm certified supply chain professional as well. Let me also introduce my colleague, Amy Danvers. I'm happy to introduce her as a supply chain professional, SAP expert. She is implementation expert at GmbH Streamline. She is partner success manager, and she has degree in international economic and trade. With more than 3 years of experience in procurement operation. She has a lot of experience working with supply chain expert globally. So Amy, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for helping preparing this content. And yeah, thanks for joining. Our next speaker today is Michal Swadek. Michal, thanks again for joining as well. Michal is a supply chain consultant and Streamline partner in DACH region, Europe. Michal has more than 15 years of experience in supply chain of global product companies. He successfully implemented and supported more than 200 process improvement and digitalization projects. So Michal, thank you so much for joining us. And also Jihad Ashur is also our partner, Streamline partner in MENA region, Middle East and Northern Africa. Jihad has 10 years of experience in supply chain management with a demonstrated history of working in automotive and aircraft ground support equipment. 6+ years of experience in SAP implementation project management, business process development, S&OP management, stock control, demand planning, and supply planning. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining. Thank you for being our speakers today. And let's move on actually to my favorite slide of today's presentation. And my favorite slide is about, it's not about speakers, it's more about our attendees. Usually our webinars are global. We have guests from pretty much everywhere. So let me ask you my favorite question. So guys, where are you located right now? And okay, let's check. So we already have Houston, Egypt. Okay, let's move on. United Kingdom, Canada, Chile, Toronto, Turkey, Istanbul, Lithuania, Turkey, India. Okay, Saudi Arabia, Poland. Great. Senegal, Kenya, Jordan, USA, Texas, Brazil, Turkey, United Arab Emirates. Perfect, guys. I'm really happy that we have this, prior geography today from like really each continent, many countries, Thailand, India. Thank you so much. So my mission, my personal mission, is to consolidate supply chain experts globally and share best practices in industry with you all the time. So this is actually what we're going to do today. And let me speak a little bit about webinar logistics. First of all, please make sure that you engage with us. Submit QA questions during this webinar. We, of course, have QA session at the end, but all of your questions are welcomed during this webinar session, and I will do my best to make sure that we respond to your questions to make sure that we have this interaction. We will have a very interactive webinar. We will have polls for you. So we'll ask your opinion about different questions. We are really interested in what you're saying, what you believe is best or maybe worse. And one more thing, we will have recording. So at the end of this webinar, we will have recording. We will share it with you. So let's move on and let's discuss what is our agenda for today. And it is very intensive. Let's move to agenda. It is very intensive, and we will do our best to make sure that we cover everything within 60 minutes. So first of all, we will discuss IBP process introduction, definition, process, and significance. We will discuss is ERP enough for IBP? Is it enough just to have only ERP or not? We will discuss the impact of the right technology. We will discuss AI-based IBP workflow in Streamline in our solution, IBP integration results by industry, and we will also have conclusions. So this is our agenda. Let's move on. Amy, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Natalie, for the introduction. And from here on out, without further ado, we will be giving the word to our first speaker for today, Jihad, please.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Amy, and thank you very much, Natalie, also for the nice introduction. And I would like to welcome also everybody to our webinar. We are actually excited to have you with us today, and I appreciate your time and interest in joining us. So let's dive in the IBP process introduction and definition. IBP actually is a strategic process that aligns business objectives of the organization with financial goals and operation plans. It integrates various functions like historical sales, marketing, the inputs of the finance and the supply chain to create a plan that is efficient and informative for decision-making and proper decision-making and execution. The process typically starts with strategic review to assess the long-term goals of the organization, the market trends and competitive landscape, to identify the key drivers and external factors that may impact the business. Based on this review, forecast of the products or the services can be generated to develop a demand plan that accounts for seasonality, promotion, and so on. Accordingly, the supply and financial plan can also be developed, considering optimized utilization of the resources and minimal risks. In IBP, also scenario planning is an essential part. This is important to assess the impact of different market scenarios, risks, and opportunities on the business. For example, we will show you in Streamline after a few slides how you can utilize a very nice feature, which is the time machine, to to apply the different scenarios and to examine each scenario and the expected outputs based on that. IBP also offers cross-functional collaboration to ensure alignment of goals, priorities, and plans to drive into integrated decision-making. This can happen also on a monthly basis to review performance of the organization against plan and to identify areas for improvement and possible changes to the plan that will lead to improve the responsiveness to the market changes. Let's move to the next slide, please. Okay, so now ERP is important, as we know, to streamline operations within an organization. But is it enough for IBP? I think we all know that ERP's primary focus on managing, let's say, essential business processes such as finance, HR, production, supply chain. But ERPs often lack advanced planning tools and capabilities that are required for the IBP. For example, there is a lack of advanced forecasting and planning tools, where typically ERPs offers basic forecasting and planning features, while IBP requires more advanced and sophisticated tools for demand sensing and predictive analytics and scenario modeling. Another thing that is you cannot find in the ERPs is the real-time visibility. This visibility for for various aspects of the business, like the sales, inventory, and production. These are important actually to quickly adjust the plan based on the market changes, and you need a real-time visibility to these changes so that you can take the right action at the right time. You may not also find advanced analytics for strategic decision making and collaboration with external partners such as suppliers and distributors. While they are very also important for the organization to improve the entire supply chain when it is needed. In addition to that, also ERP systems are designed to operate in silos with separate modules. In IBP, the proper planning requires seamless integration of data across departments and systems to enable cross-functional collaboration. So to conclude, ERP systems are essential for managing day-to-day operations and may not be able to provide advanced planning and forecasting tools that are important for the decision-making and also for better responsiveness and flexibility of the plans of the organization based on the market changes. So these are the reasons that we believe are should be considered, and to justify that ERP is not enough for IBP planning. Back you to Amy.
All right, thank you so much, Dihad. That was very insightful. And with that, would like to address our next question to the audience. And since you are joining us today for this webinar, it would be very important for us to know what kind of improvements do you looking to have with your current IBP processes. And please don't hesitate to give us the answers. Right now on the screen, you would be seeing the poll. So please give us an answer. Perhaps you are the one who don't have any IBP processes defined for your company, and that's absolutely valid, or long or inefficient communication cycle, or even data modeling that is taking too much time might be the problem for you. So please read through the questions and answers and give as many insights as you can. And we will be reading through those answers and analyzing the results shortly, just after everyone has the chance to select everything that pains them at this very moment. So I think we can take another couple of seconds and we'll be showing the results. All right, thank you so much for the audience for participating. And just looking at the results, it looks like quite a large percentage of our audience today doesn't have any IBP processes. However, the mostly important would be the most important challenges would be to respond to supply chain delays and unpredictability, as well as managing inaccurate demand forecasts for existing new products. However, a long and inefficient cycle of communication and data modeling is also a pain point for some of you. And those are great results. Again, thank you so much for participating. And just to continue from our point on, we will be addressing those exact struggles with our next speaker, Michal, up to you.
Okay, thank you, Amy, and also Natalie for the introduction, and most of all, many thanks also to the audience for attending our webinar. So really honored to be here and have the opportunity to present to you some of the experience which we have collected with Jihad over the years. Great results of the poll. I must say, not so much surprising. It looks to me that we say, okay, there's like 35% of the participants saying there is no IBP process at all, which means actually there are like 65% of people who have at least some elements of the IBP process. And I also believe, in my experience, there is not so much need to convince people of the importance of the IBP process itself. It's more about the whole collaboration and how you can set it up and how this can be all orchestrated, that it works, and then is bringing the value. And building up on what just Jihad said on the previous slide, it's this ERP is not really enough, because if you really want to have like real-time planning, maybe you have different IT systems in your landscape, in your company. So you need to connect the data from different sources. So you really need to have kind of integration of different data streams to bringing you the data together. And then let's say the next step is, if you have all the data, it's well, what you do about it. So how you can process the data in an easy, automatic way that it's giving you the insights about what's going on. Because there is not the point of going through all the data on your own. And I've been in supply chain for many years, and I am guilty on my own misusing Excel for everything. So we see that also with a lot of even large companies, there's still the Excel is the tool for S&OP and IBP in many companies. But of course, it is a good tool, it's good overview, but it's not really advanced analytics. It's even the ERP is not giving the advanced analytics. Because once we have the real-time data, it's all integrated from all the data streams. You have this advanced analytics, you can restart a collaboration. And this is where basically the company, the team is gaining the efficiency in the whole IBP. So how the collaboration with one set of data, with good analytical insights, how you can connect the sales, finance, but also HR when it comes, for example, to the capacity planning and so forth. This is really what is what is the purpose of this foundation. And one thing what we also see in recent years, it's not only the integration, but the companies looking for scalability. So we see with a lot of M&As going on in the market, but also the companies are growing rapidly. There are some companies who are even shrinking rapidly, but mainly we see it with the really fast growing companies. So they are not looking for a tool that it will take like months and years to implement. And then if there is like new change in the structure, everything needs to be redone again. So I think like big strength of a good IBP tool is really scalability. So it's not like you plug it once and then it can basically develop with your business development. And here I would say I have already seen it in a chat. There was a question about the unified demand planning. I would be really curious. I believe we don't have a poll here, but what type of IBP or ERP solution are you using currently? So if you can post in a chat, just so that basically we can then react also according to your needs and your interest, so we can tailor it a little bit. So what do you have? I see SAP CAR, SAP IBP, great. I mean, that's actually a great tool. OMP, yes. Oracle Fusion. So it's like a lot of yes, S4, SAP, IBP, obviously. So I also see there is like a lot tools which are basically like on top of the ERP. So I see, okay, SAP R4, SAP R4 with IBP, Business Central, SAP Business One, we see there. So it looks like there is actually very good maturity in the group. So which is a good thing, because it looks like there is a lot knowledge about various tools and various solutions. What we basically try to do on the next slide is like very simplistically show what are the major differences in different ERP systems. So of course there are like a lot of small, medium business ERPs in the market. Also the SAP Business One is one of them, focusing on the smaller businesses. Then there are like a lot of legacy enterprise ERPs like SAP ECC, SAP R3. And then basically there are what we would call like modern ERP systems, where definitely SAP S4 is one of them. Because even those ERPs already have some IBP components already. But then what we see is really the most powerful thing when it comes to ABP is really like specialized IBP solution, which is giving you the answer for the real-time planning, the scenario planning, analytics, and really fosters the collaboration. And I mean, this maybe is not too surprising, but what the big topic is. So does it mean that like everybody in the world is going to implement the SAP S4 with the IBP, and everything will be good? In general, yes. I mean, this is really a great thing to do. The question is if the companies want to do it, if there is maybe other way how you can solve it, because also I can imagine like for smaller, especially the companies using the smaller ERPs, looking for different ways how you can basically extend the capabilities of your system without completely overhauling all the ERP landscape in the whole company. And we see it in your answers, actually, that this is really, I see there are a lot of like OMP is definitely one of the tools which you basically put on top of your ERP to basically get the IBP capability. And to basically address the concerns which came out from the poll, I actually like the next slide, which is like visually showing what is the difference between the different systems, because at the end the job needs to be done always. So if you're in the planning, if you're in the purchasing, if you're in a supply chain anywhere, you need to do the work to do the proper planning. You need to make the purchase orders. So how you do it without any solution? Of course, you do a lot of Excel spreadsheets. You spend most of your time, most of your job really like analyzing different sources of data manually. And then really you have like very little time left for the decisions. The development obviously is okay if there is the good ERP system with the good IBP components, you're really increasing this amount of work or amount of time which you have for taking the action. But what we see in many companies, still it's like maybe 50-60% is the Excel is the answer for all the issues. And really, if you need to prepare the IBP, if not doing it once in a month or once in a quarter, but really almost on a daily basis, it's not doable to do all your data modeling very manually. So this is basically where you need to go, is really this integrated, fully integrated IBP solution, when the machine is taking care of the data and the human brain can be used, really value added, for making the right decisions, making the analysis. And when I heard or when I see in this poll, there is the big issue, forecast accuracy, forecasting the new products. Yes, that is the issue. But if you basically can leave it to the machine to do the normal stuff for you, then you can focus on how you forecast the new products, how you forecast these issues, how you addressing the supply chain delays, because the supply chain delay in the Suez Canal cannot be solved by any solution, but the tool can give you the time to focus on these disruptions in the supply chain. And basically, this is what we want to present to you. So it's like IBP solution, which you can connect to any type of data, and which should actually help you and bring you to this 100% focus on the analysis and action. So I'll give back to Amy, and she will basically take it from here.
Thank you so much, Michal, for your wonderful insights. And today, as a portion of our discussion, we will be presenting to you some of the IBP workflows that you can build in Streamline. And much like Michal has introduced to you, it is a solution that can be installed on top of the ERP system with the great results that were proven by our presence in the market. So just for you to know a little bit about Streamline, we are international producer of supply chain enhancement software with the outstanding rating on G2 with 4.5 stars and more than 1,200 satisfied customers in the world. And what you need to know about Streamline is that its powerful predictive analytics tools are not only used by the worldwide giants, as well as the customers you're currently seeing on the screen, but it has also been deemed as #1 platform for the modern supply chain and S&OP processes enhancements, with the great recognition, not only being the leader in the industries, being the best usability cases, but also the product for fast implementation and highest performance, which are very important when we're talking about the integrated systems needed for IBP, of course, and the performance that will definitely enhance the results of the correct IBP processes launch. And with that, we will be moving on to our workflows, which you can build in Streamline. And for today, we'll be focusing mostly on how the data integration and consolidation can work with different systems or different data sources combined together, how demand planning and supply planning can be enhanced using a specialized system for supply chain enhancement and IBP processes management. And we will also show you the tools for performance monitoring and dynamic simulations, as well as the elements for collaboration and communications that will be present each step of the way. Basically, everything you need for a successful IBP process. And with that, I'm passing the screen to Michal yet again to share with us the demonstration of those processes integration with the system.
Thank you, Amy. That was really quick. So I will now try to share my screen. Hopefully it will work. And I'm sharing. And what I would like to show you right now is the view of the GM8 Streamline. And basically the first view, what I'm showing is what we mentioned earlier, is how you connect the data. So basically the whole tool is built about connecting the source of the data from your ERP system or from multiple sources, multiple data sources. You can get it from Excel, from SAP, from different ERP systems, to basically put all your data into this one single source of truth, which is then visualizing the data, which I'll show right on. But the point here is also the larger companies having typically a lot of different IT systems in the company. If there are different regions, different branches, and you want to consolidate everything, it's not always easy. This is why this multiple source of data is very important in my eyes. And when you connect your data into the Streamline, we're really looking on balancing the supply and demand. So it's demand and supply. And this is how it looks like in the first time you connect all the data from all the sources, Streamline. is able to read your structure of your products, of your materials. It can put it in according to your categories which you are using in your company into the different groups. So we have like a food and beverage, we have some cereals, we have some chocolates, we have the SKUs. You can also see what are the sales in each region from each distribution center, and we can also look at the different sales channels which you are using. So there's like not a huge magic, and I've been myself in various SAP implementations and also various other ERP implementations. I mean, this is really like reading your data and giving like one structure in one go, which can be done really fast. There is always a data hygiene factor, so there is always need to check the consistency and so forth. So it's still not a magic, but we are talking here really about days, definitely not a month. And what does it do? It will basically take all your historical sales. It will check your sales, and I think it's better represented here in the graphics. So your historical sales, and then it starts predicting what the sales pattern should be or could be, and using it basically going forward in the future. And based on these parameters, it is then trying to is basically predicting what needs to be ordered and when, and how you should manage the supply chain. So it's great to have such a machine, but I believe that you have a lot of input from your sales, from your marketing teams about the new products, about the promotions, about changes in the customers, because like no software in the world can know that you have won a new customer, that you have maybe lost a customer, or is a new opening. So we can create here a lot of different versions of the forecast. And this really is then good for the collaboration. So if I do the marketing forecast, I can edit who can view it, who can edit it. Same way I can create also the sales forecast. So very quickly, without doing a lot of, again, Excel spreadsheets and sending data back and forth, I've now created different versions of the forecast. And let's say I have a salesperson telling me, okay, I have a new customer here who would like to buy 5,000 more than we did so far. You can even put a note there that, okay, we have here this new customer of ours. And he can basically say, okay, this needs attention. I did some change, and basically in my whole tree, I'm now able to drill down, okay, what is the issue? And maybe the planner comes to the machine week later or day later. So we can check, oh, there is a new forecast from the sales. I mean, he's saying that there is a new customer who needs like significantly more. Okay, I have checked it, it's okay. And with this, it's okay. And if you come to your IBP meeting, you can accept it and say, okay, we are okay with this forecast. We have checked with the supplier, we have checked with the production, everybody is fine. We can basically apply this forecast. And then you have seen that also the chart has changed. And now this is the driving forecast, which is actually assuming what has been added, and you can also approve it. So, okay, now it's approved, and you can see now nobody can change it anymore because we have already fixed that. And this is kind of fostering the collaboration. And you have seen I've did really quickly, no Excel spreadsheets. I just created 2 versions of forecast. I can also, I would like to sell 20% more, 20% less. This would obviously go a little bit beyond the time, how much we have in this webinar. But this is the way how you manage the demand. And once actually your demand is properly maintained, you are happy with your demand plan, with your forecast, with all your promotions, then you really go into the inventories. And in the inventories, you again have all the data, all your supply chain constraints on the lead times, on minimum lots, on rounding, on the service level. And then the Streamline is telling you how much you need to order of which item. And with the connection integration with your ERP, you just click the plan orders and you can send it into your ERP, and the stuff is being purchased. If you want to do some simulation and make sure, okay, so what if, because maybe the inventory is too high, or is there anything that needs to be considered? You can say, okay, I would like to reduce my inventories, for example, so I can select my ABC, let's say my low revenue products with in a specific location. And so then immediately you get your view focused, laser focused on these items. Okay, so I now see, okay, I need to order value about 3 million on the open order. So what would it happen if I would say, okay, on the C items in this location, I don't really want to have the service level of 98%. I believe like 50% is good enough. Then you immediately see you reducing the safety stock, and your order value is going down by 1 million. So you can see, okay, this is maybe a little bit too aggressive. You can change it, but you can see how simple you can basically create kind of simulations even within your supply chain or your IBP meeting. So it's not like something you need to do like 1 or 2 weeks upfront. You can make the decision directly in the meeting using the data. And how you actually then extract the data and how you can visualize it in the dashboards and reports, I hand it over to Jihad, who will walk you through more the advanced analytics.
Michal, if you don't mind, before Jihad starts, we have several questions, and we had this question while you were doing this presentation, so I believe it would be nice if you can answer them.
Okay.
And the first one, will it be considered holidays and weather? So can you elaborate a little bit on holidays and promotions, how we can handle in Streamline?
Okay. Yes, I mean, we can, I haven't touched on that in too much detail, but basically we have different holiday calendars which you can choose in a Streamline. So we can use the holidays. We can even set ordering availability, and you can say, okay, when, which months or which period you are not able to order. Because like typical is what we see in distribution in Europe is if for Chinese New Year, you cannot order with your Chinese suppliers for a couple of weeks, then you can basically say, okay, this is when it's not possible to order. And the second question, Natalie, was?
We have 2 more actually.
Oh, 2 more, very good.
Oh, yes, we have more questions. So besides demand and inventory planning, does Streamline also cover production planning and manufacturing?
We have basically we are able to work with the BOMs. So also the Streamline is able to read your bill of materials, and based on that basically plan the finished products, the intermediate products, and your raw materials. So basically in this view, if you get your demand forecast right, it will basically trickle down to the raw material level, and is able to also create the stock replenishment orders and manufacturing orders. So I just showed it now only for purchase orders, but the answer is yes. And I believe you also asked about the promotions, Natalie. That was one of the questions. Yes, we can also use the promotions if we have the history of promotional data. Typically in the retail, if there is a discount, 20%, the sales are going up by a certain percentage. So we can simulate the price elasticity, and we can filter out the promotions out of the data set and predict the promotions accordingly.
Thank you so much. There are 2 more questions. They were similar, so let me read both of them and you will just summarize, okay? First one is from Jim. ERP systems are expensive, difficult to use, and time-consuming to implement. The area is questionable, and most companies are using only a fraction of its capability. What other solutions than ERP are there to manage IBP in today's fast-changing market? It is first question. And second one, what are some emerging technologies that IBP has identified as having the potential to revolutionize traditional business process? I believe they're alike, so please go ahead.
I think the ERP question is to me really like at the end or in the beginning, the company needs an accounting system, and this is where the ERP really started, right? So first it was really about the accounting, and you need to manage your books, and then you are building up basically the ERP around it. So how you manage all the resources in your company. I agree that the ERP systems are cumbersome. This is why we also saying this is not enough for the efficient IBP process. Of course, the ERP is the basic data set of each company. So because in the ERP you have your purchase orders, sales orders, invoices. So based on this data, you can build on the IBP. And this is what we are basically looking at. So basically, we skimming all the data from ERP which are relevant for IBP and presenting it in an easy to use way for IBP.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
I believe I would apologize. Basically, the second question to me was that would be like for a whole another webinar, because I mean there are so many emerging technologies. So I don't want to be impolite, but let's skip this one and maybe have a separate conversation on this, because there is so much going on in the market that would be really beyond the scope of what we have to talk about today. Okay, for you, Natalie.
Sounds like a plan. Okay, let's move on. There is one more question from Deep regarding commercial aspects. So let's, I will just ask our representatives to connect with you and discuss in more details. So
maybe
Jihad,
we'll have at the end more time to go back to the questions. So I believe we have some reserve there, but I also don't want to steal the floor from Jihad.
Jihad, stage is yours. This is actually what was supposed to be the next one.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mihal, for the nice presentation. Let me share my screen. Give me some time just to start.
Take your time. Absolutely no problem. Take your time.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Right. As you may have noticed that Streamline is very efficient and easy to just connect to your data source and start generating forecasts, and based on that you can create your own plans and scenarios also, as Michael just explained. But as also according to the poll, one of the main issues everybody was just suffering from is the accuracy. So there is a need for a tool that provides you with the proper real-time visibility of the different KPIs of the organization, so that you can have a look at these KPIs anytime you need, and you can just take the right decision at the right time. So Streamline, in addition to the usual or the standard KPIs and the group of product reports that can provide, recently there is a nice feature was launched, which is a customizable dashboard that you can create using this tool, your own dashboards, where you can just select the data and visualize it the way that you want, to make your life easier, and you're just taking the right decision and looking into the different aspects of the plan, and also to monitor the performance of the operation based on in comparison to the plan. So let me just show you how to create your own dashboard. You can just start by creating one of the dashboards and give it a name, and then you can start adding widgets for, let's say, annual revenue, if you want to see the annual revenue. and you can select as whether it is a single number or a time series or breakdown chart, and select, let's say, the report that you want this information from. And you can also add filters as the way that you want, just to filter out, or let's say, a certain group of items or something like that. But accordingly, immediately once you do this, you will have the number displayed in front of you. This is the annual revenue of the organization for the last 12 months. You can add more the widgets that just to add whatever you need for your own analysis, and then this dashboard will be ready for you and saved. Anytime you can come back to this dashboard and to look into different KPIs, and you can evaluate immediately the performance of the company and take the right decision, maybe to make some changes to the plan according to this. Let me show you some examples of the customized dashboards. Like, for example, here we have revenue breakdown for this organization. You can see the number of widgets that we have in this dashboard. You can have a look at everything related to the revenue and this dashboard, and just analysis for every single information that you want. By a quick look at this, you can just have a better visibility to everything related to the revenue, and maybe take the decision to make changes. Anytime you can also edit any of these widgets to change the information displayed, so that to make the changes the way that you want. So this is, let's say, for example, an overview or a look at the historical performance of the company. You can also have, let's say, a look at the future by looking at, let's say, the projection of everything in the organization based on the plans that you are implementing. And this way, you will also have a look at the future, and also evaluate your plan based on that. A very nice feature also in this, whether you can you can simulate the future in Streamline, and look at the KPIs after, let's say, a certain period of time. This is, as we said in the introduction, a feature called the time machine, where you can start the time machine and Streamline, and tell the system to travel in the future, let's say, for 60 days. And once you select the period, just click here, and in seconds you will be traveling in the future. And now you are looking at the KPIs after 60 days from now. This way you can have visibility of the future, and you can see the plan that you are implementing now, and how it will look like after 60 days. Maybe based on this, you can go back and make changes to the plan, so that have a better results in the future. So as you can see, this is a very nice feature and very easy to use. Will give you a better visibility for everything. You can design your own dashboards to create a proper visibility of everything in your organization, and also optimize your plans according to what you see in these dashboards. And of course, the time machine is very interesting. Will help you also foresee the future, and also evaluate your different scenarios that you are just evaluating, so that you can decide which is the best plan that you need to implement for the organization. Back to you, Amy.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. It was very insightful. So let's come back to our presentation. And furthermore, the results that the correct IBP process can create for you. So I will invite Michal again to share some of the insights for what exactly correct IBP process can do for you in the long run.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. It's a little bit more high-level slide, but then we also show on a few specific examples what is achievable with Streamline. But we have seen it in the beginning, in the first poll, that yeah, there is a lot of people in the group or in this audience with a lot of experience. So we sort of believe the convincing you why it's important is not so necessary, but sometimes you might also need actually the arguments for the management, for example, and to convince them so why it's so important to run IBP efficiently, and why this ERP or Excel spreadsheeting is not enough. And what we see, like average from many different projects, we see a lot of service level improvements. So definitely doing the IBP right, by improving your forecasting accuracy, having the right inventory in the right place, then obviously you can get like 5 to 20% improvement in your service levels, which then is obviously also driving your operating margins, because you're reducing the cost for the stock holding, you're gaining efficiency, and you also, with eliminating the stockouts, you're also able to grow your revenue. So that's not to underestimate. A lot of high-level managers looking at all this supply chain planning still as something, the option how to reduce the cost, but the major impact is really like improving the position in the market. So improving the margin and growing the revenue, because only when you have the right stock in the right place at the right time, you are able to sell. If you don't have the stock, then there will be somebody else who has. And with that connected, the cash-to-cash cycle time, so between 10 to 30% improvement. So like reducing the inventory you don't really need, placing the orders when you need them. So we have seen it how you can simply simulate basically your order placement, your safety stock simulation. So this is also improving your cash-to-cash cycle. And yes, we can also use it for the production planning. And we put here quite, yeah, let's say, not so optimistic number, saving like 5 to 20% in the production planning. What we also see, there's much higher percentages when it comes really to how much time the planners are spending on these tasks. So those are the typical results with well-functioning IBP, with the right tools, with the right process in place. So again, it's not only one or the other. You can kind of have a great process, but the wrong tools, then you will not get to these numbers. You can have excellent tools, but not really good process, then it will be also hard to achieve it. So it's really how you are putting these two things together. And if we go to the next slide, what we have seen we can basically have this use cases also on our website. So what our customers have achieved is in the consumer goods area was the reduction of stockouts by 90%. So this was like amazing after 4 or 6 months after implementing the Streamline. We have seen in automotive industry huge reduction of stockouts, and what I was trying to mention previously, the reduction in the time for planning. So how much time do people spend on these different planning activities? If another customer in pharma industry, which is reducing the inventory levels by 40% while improving the operating income. So they not only growing the business significantly, but at the same time reducing the inventories. So basically those things going basically against each other sometimes, but no, you don't need to increase your inventory if you want to grow the business. You need to have what I mentioned, the right inventory in the right place. And if I may react actually on one question which I just noticed. So the expectation, how you streamline with SAP. And maybe we haven't touched on that in such a detail. What I was trying to explain, or Gerard was trying to explain, is really the streamline is something you can connect with different systems, also with different SAPs. So we have a direct connector with SAP Business One. We are running several projects with SAP S/4HANA. We also are able to connect through database connection to SAP ECC. So what we see now, I mean, the movement in the market, in the companies is a lot about, okay, especially in the larger corporations, everybody now moving to S4. And there is, of course, a lot of struggle. So like going from all the legacy systems into the new environment. And we believe you can really like having such a tool as a Streamline, which is really scalable and is platform independent, can help also in this transition. So basically you can build up your IBP and without actually now currently implementing the customer who is now in transition basically from one SAP system to another. And at the same time, we're basically implementing SAP because the IBP process will not change. It's more about how you put the data together. So I don't know if I answered that question fully, but I thought it would be fair to address it.
All right, thank you so much, Michal. And with that, since we still have a couple of minutes left, I would like to engage with our audience once more. So right now you will see the second poll on your screen, and please tell us a little bit about how important IBP improvements are for you right now. It can be a top priority, something that you want to improve in the next 3 months or 6 months, or it's something that you consider on a greater scale for the next foreseeable year. So please share us your outlook on the importance of IBP improvements for your company right now. And we're seeing another question while we're processing the results. All right. So for the majority of the people here, the IBP process improvements is certainly on the table, very important. Next 9 months would be the great goalpost for those kind of improvements. But we're also looking at the people who are considering as a top or high priority, with less people considering moderate or low priority. And thank you so much for sharing all of your opinions. This is very valuable information for us. And just to draw conclusions, I will once again invite Jihad to draw the line for the presentation today. Jihad?
Sorry. Thank you, Amy. Just by reviewing the results of the last poll, I think we all agree that IBP is important. The majority, agrees that it is important, and it is because ERPs, although those who are suitable for or used by SMEs, they can offer limited tools for demand planning and forecasting. They might be suitable to some organizations, but the majority, I think, needs more advanced tools like IBP to enhance their accuracy and efficiency of the operation. So I think IBP, as all majority of the audience agrees that it is important and it is the recommended choice for any organization. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. Now to draw the conclusion for today's presentation, let's discuss a couple of next steps. So I'm pretty sure that we've given you a lot of food for thought. So please, once you're going forward with your company operations, consider different strategies for IBP improvements. What can you do better for data modeling or data visibility? And if you are interested in implementing something like Streamline, you will be able to book a free consultation session with one of our experts with whom you've met today. And our support will post the links to their calendars right about now in the chat. So click on the link and book your session today. With that, you will be able to get a more detailed demonstration that will be targeting specifically your pain points, and will be able to get through your personal IBP challenges for you on the personal session. At the same time, please consider a couple of articles which we will be also posting in the chat shortly. Those can help you more with our coming supply chain challenges for manufacturers, digital twinning technology, or even S&OP operations with the right AI tool. So please consider those articles. You'll see them in the chat as well. And with that, we are going to wrap up. If there are any remaining questions, feel free to post them in the chat, and our technical team will get back to you over email. And in case you will want to do that later at the later date, here are the emails with which you can reach out to us. And please don't forget that you will receive the recording of this webinar in an email in a couple of days. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching today's webinar. I hope it was proven insightful to all of you, and we will be looking to connecting with you later.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, speakers, and thanks everyone for joining today's webinar.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much, everyone.